It's nighttime in the big city. A light drizzle starts to fall. An anxious lover waits by the phone. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Howdy neighbors and hello friends. I'm so glad to see you. It's time once again for Theme Time Radio Hour. And tonight, we're going to expand our Collins circle and talk about those folks that we remain connected to. Neighbors are defined by distance, but no distance can keep friends apart. We'll be learning all about that today as we talk about friends and neighbors here on Theme Time Radio Hour. They say that good fences make good neighbors and good friends make good music. Here's the spangled ex-butcher with a mile-high pompadour. It's Porter Wagoner and his good friends, the Wagon Masters, with Howdy Neighbor Howdy. They're about to drive the wagon in the yard and turn the donkey loose. They're even going to kick the hound out of the way and watch them fighting goose. Porter Wagoner.
Howdy neighbor, howdy, get out and come right in. We'll make a bowl of gravy, chop your biscuits in. File a pot of coffee and bake a big fat hen. Cook enough country ham to feed 100 men. Drive your wagon in the yard and turn your donkey loose. Kick that old hound out of the way and watch that fighting goose. So howdy neighbor, howdy, come in and sit right down. Come on and get us all in here's how are things in town. We're so glad to see you. Been wondering how you've been. Everybody's feeling fine, so let the fun begin. Get the banjo off the wall and tune it up in A. Play some good old country tunes like Grandpa used to play. Go and get your fiddle down, play the tune that I like so. Something about old man Clark, I think his name was Joe. Howdy neighbor, howdy, get out and come right in. We'll make a bowl of gravy, chop your biscuits in. File a pot of coffee and bake a big fat hen. Cook enough country ham to feed 100 men.
That was Porter Wagoner and the Wagon Masters. Howdy neighbor, howdy. Welcoming you in for another episode of Theme Time Radio Hour. And I want y'all to be my friends. As Friedrich Nietzsche once said, go up close to your friend, but do not go over to him. We should respect the enemy that is in our friend. Oscar Wilde once said, a true friend will stab you in the front. Well said, Oscar. Here's an artist we played on our very first show, but I didn't have a chance to talk about her, and I want to correct that mistake right now. Sister Rosetta Tharpe was a powerful force of nature, a guitar-playing, singing evangelist. You know, she traveled to England with Muddy Waters and a whole bunch of other blues performers in the late 50s and early 60s. And I'm sure there are a lot of young English guys who picked up an electric guitar after getting a look at her. If you want to get a look at her, go onto YouTube and type in Sister Rosetta Tharpe. It'll blow your mind. Here she is with some good advice. Don't take everybody to be your friend. Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
While sitting at home, talking to the Lord, some old hypocrite has carried your name abroad. But you take it to the Lord, He will give you a reward. Please don't take everybody to be your friend. I said don't take everybody for your friend. Oh, friend. You just bear this in mind, that a true friend is hard to find. Please don't take everybody for your friend. Some will cause you to weep. Some will cause you to moan. Some will gain your confidence and cause you to lose your home. But you bear this in mind, that a true friend is hard to find. Please don't take everybody to be your friend. I said don't take everybody to be your friend. Oh, don't take everybody to be your friend. You just bear this in mind, that a true friend is hard to find. Please don't take everybody to be your friend.
That was Sister Rosetta Tharpe, anything but ordinary and plain. She was a big, good-looking woman, and divine, not to mention sublime and splendid, always dressed like she was on her way to church, with that electric guitar strung across her shoulder. Matter of fact, I saw her a few times myself at the National Guard Armory. You know, she got married in 1951 at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C., in front of 25,000 paying customers. This is what it sounded like.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big moment, as you can well see, is just about arrived. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to Griffith Stadium, where you're about to be guests at the wedding of Sister Rosetta Tharpe, after which there'll be a great spiritual concert, followed by fireworks.
I didn't know you could charge admission to your wedding. I wish I'd have known that. You know, you have no shortage of friends if you stay right here on Theme Time Radio Hour, where the subject du jour is friends and neighbors. Here's a guy who's long and tall and on the ball, T-Bone Burnett. Everybody thinks he's a Texan, but he was born in St. Louis, Missouri. He moved down to Fort Worth and opened up his own recording studio and made records and played on records. Here he is with his version of the Jules Stein and Leo Robin classic, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Kiss on the hand may be quite continental. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Kiss may be grand, but it won't pay the rental on your humble flat or help you at the automat. Men grow cold as girls grow old. We all lose our charm in the end. But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Let's rock. There may come a time when a lass needs a lawyer. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. There may come a time when a hard-boiled employer thinks you're awful nice, but get that ice or else no dice. He's your guy, stocks are high, but beware when they start to descend. It's then that those louses go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. 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 Let's rock again.
There's T-Bone Burnett, the guy who's no material girl, doing his version. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, and they are. This song is from the 1949 Broadway show, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and it was originally sung by Carol Channing. Later on, in 1953, Howard Hawks directed the movie version and picked the blonde that gentlemen prefer, the lush and curvaceous Miss Marilyn Monroe, to play the fortune hunter Lorelei Lee.
I don't need rhinestones, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Right about now, it's time for a little bit of email. I like email, but I miss the postman. I used to like it when he would come by and tell me what my neighbors were doing. Oh well, times change. Today's email is from Vernon Talbot from Tampa, Florida. He writes, "Dear Theme Time Radio Hour, love the show, but can't help but notice that most of the artists you play are somewhat obscure. What's up with that?" Well, Vernon, that's a fair question. First of all, why should we play things you can hear anywhere else? On the other hand, the artists we play are interesting and deserve their moment in the sun. Besides, I would bet they're not obscure to their friends and neighbors. While we're on the subject of obscurity, here's a quote that can make it clear. Brevis esse lubero, obscurus fio, which means in plain English, I strive to be brief and I become obscure. So Vernon, I hope that answers your question. Here's a Cajun song by Doc Guidry. Hope this is obscure enough for you. It's called The Friendship Waltz. You might know it as Le Vase d'Ami. Doc's gonna sing it in his native language, but here's what he's saying. After everything is done and said, I'll be here all alone, but life is in the past. I will not regret it. When our friendship was so strong, so gentle, and all in white, all of them in my big sorrow, will be not to see you again.
Moi je suis ici à ton côté, à genoux après prier, les grosses larmes après rouler, et mon cœur est tout cassé. Notre amitié était si forte, si doux et pur comme blanc. Qui me donne mon gros chagrin, je vais jamais te voir encore. Après tout est fait et dit, moi je vais être tout seul ici. Mais la vie dans le passé, je vais jamais la regretter. Notre amitié était si forte, si doux et pur comme blanc. Donne mon gros chagrin, je vais jamais te voir encore.
There was Doc Guidry, The Friendship Waltz. Doc joined the Happy Fats band, who are also known as the Rainbow Ramblers, who started recording in Dallas, Texas in 1934. Here's another Texan. I guess Texas is a friendly place. This is Moon Mulligan, whose real name was Aubrey, who got the nickname Moon when he was 16 years old, and it did him good ever since. Moon's combination of pumping piano and country vocals were a huge influence on Jerry Lee Lewis. He's one of the grandfathers of rock and roll, and a friendly fella to boot as you give a listen to this. Make Friends with Moon Mulligan.
Make friends with the rich and make friends with the poor. Make friends with the high and make friends with the low. Even a little child, you ought to greet him with a smile. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. Make friends, make friends, make friends, try to make friends. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. Wear a smile, not a frown, and don't you put your neighbor down. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. Sometimes you may be weak, and sometimes you may be strong. Sometimes talked about, and sometimes treated wrong. But you just can't miss if you just remember this. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. Make friends, make friends, make friends, try to make friends. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. Wear a smile and a frown, and don't you put your neighbor down. While traveling through this world, try to make friends. While traveling through this world, try to make friends.
That was Moon Mulligan with the philosophy of making friends. As one of the wisest men I've ever known, Muhammad Ali, once said, "Friendship is the hardest thing in the world to explain. It's not something you learn in school. But if you haven't learned the meaning of friendship, you really haven't learned anything at all." Moon Mulligan, Muhammad Ali. Two ways of saying the same thing. Let's move from friends to neighbors for a moment. Thomas Jefferson had something to say about neighbors. He said, "It does me no injury for my neighbor to say, there are 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg." Thomas Jefferson, reminding us about the separation of church and state. Coming up next on Theme Time Radio Hour, a harmonica player by the name of Jerry McCain. He once heard Little Walter play, and it changed his life forever. Music used to do that. That same year, under the name Boogie McCain, he made his first record for trumpet in Jackson, Mississippi. But his best-known records were on the Excello record label, and that's where we've got this one, My Next Door Neighbor, by Jerry McCain.
You know my next door neighbor about to make me lose my mind. You know my next door neighbor about to make me lose my mind. They can't knock on my door unless they want to borrow something all the time. They want to borrow the broom, they want to borrow the mop, they want to know the time, so they borrow the clock. They want to borrow some lard and a piece of meat. They want to borrow some sugar to make the coffee sweet. They want to borrow $2 until payday. They want to borrow the liniment to rub the pains away. You know my next door neighbor about to make me lose my mind. They can't knock on my door unless they want to borrow something all the time. They want to watch the fights and try to pick a winner. They borrow my television, come back and get my antenna. They bought a lawnmower, they bought an electric fan, they bought a vacuum cleaner and a garbage can. They bought a knife, fork, spoons and plates. They bought a counter off the wall to keep up with the date. You know my next door neighbor about to make me lose my mind. They can't knock on my door unless they want to borrow something all the time. They worry me.
all in. I stood up there and I shook my head. Believe your people would borrow from the dead. But borrowing's alright, but it's a natural fact. The people like to borrow, but they won't pay back. You know my next door neighbor about to make me lose my mind. They can't knock on my door unless they want to borrow something all the time. Get out, stay gone.
That was Jerry McCain talking about his next door neighbor who wants to borrow the broom and the mop, and the clock, and a piece of meat, and lard, and sugar. He even borrowed the television and came back to get the antenna. We all know neighbors like that. You know, my next door neighbor, Harold, he comes to me and says, "Hey, Bob, are you going to need your golf clubs on Sunday?" I told him, "Hey, Harold, I'm playing golf that day." And he said, "Good. Then you won't need your lawnmower." He's a smart guy. One of the kind of neighbors that Jerry McCain's talking about. On the other hand, a lot of people love their neighbors. Sometimes a little too much. Like in this next song. You know, we've talked a lot about George Jones. But in this song, he's got a lovely partner. Her name's Melba Montgomery. She got her start at the age of 10 when she and her brother won an amateur talent contest. She had a handful of hits with George Jones before Tammy Wynette. And this one is one of the wildest. I played this record for some of the guys here in the Abernathy building, and they couldn't believe their ears. This is country music at its best, friends. Give a listen.
I know why you're lonely,
and I know why you're blue.
You're lonesome to see him,
And you long to see her too.
we're not in love with each other, we're in love with our best friends. So let's invite them over again. We've talked it over, and we know it's not right. We should stay away forever, but we're lonesome each night. Yes, we stay away for a while, but we know in the end we'll invite them over again. We've talked it over, and we know it's not right. We should stay away forever, but we're lonesome each night. Yes, we stay away for a while, but we know in the end we'll invite them over again.
That was George Jones with Melba Montgomery. A song from the swinging 60s. I don't mean the swinging 60s like Carnaby Street. I mean the swinging 60s. Like we have a party, and the men put all their car keys in a hat. The wives pick out a car key. You put on a Trini Lopez record, and everybody just swings. Now, I've never been to a party like that myself, but I hear those kind of things happen. Now, I love country music, but I say, what happened to it? You hear a song like this, and it's obvious. It's about real people and real emotions and real problems. That's all. That's the country music we learn to love. Nowadays, they want to sweep all the problems under the rug and pretend they don't exist. Well, guess what, folks? They do exist. And if you try to sweep them under the rug, they're just going to pop up somewhere else. So we might as well just face it and listen to the old-style country music, the real country music. You know, about drinking and sleeping around. That's my kind of country music, and I hope yours. But I digress. On a more serious note, Aristotle once said, in poverty and other misfortunes of life, true friends are a sure refuge. The young they keep out of mischief. To the old, they are a comfort and aid. And those in the prime of life, they incite to noble deeds. On the other hand, some people say their friends are God's way of apologizing to us for our families. There's lots of opinions about friends. The great Howlin' Wolf has another one. This next song is entirely without flaw and meets all the supreme standards of excellence.
My clothes. With a thing, my friend don't wanna see me with a thing. They don't wanna do nothing but take my money from me. If I don't give them my money, they won't associate with me no more. If I don't give them my money, they won't associate with me no more. My friend don't make me no good no more.
That was the great Howlin' Wolf talking about his kind of friends. Talking about friends like we all must have. They don't want to see him with a thing. Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters were the biggest blues stars in Chicago in the late 50s. But according to many people, they were never friends. They were very competitive, both wanted Willie Dixon's newest hits, and supposedly the two of them never shook hands. People say that Muddy was graceful and generous, feeling good when many of his musicians went on to form their own bands. Wolf was jealous, a tight-fisted boss who would fire them and never speak to them once they left his band. Muddy Waters loved Fats Waller. Howlin' Wolf called jazz blee-blop, and he fined his guitarist for playing it. Big and bold, Howlin' Wolf, not a man to cross. You know, the blues records sound so good. Let's listen to another one. Here's the man that changed Jerry McCain's life. You remember Jerry McCain. He had problems with his next-door neighbors. It's also a good example of what we were talking about with Muddy Waters, letting his sidemen go off and record records of their own. In 1952, Little Walter went into the Chess Brothers recording studios. They probably gave him studio time because he painted their houses or something. Anyway, he recorded a song. It was an instrumental that the Muddy Waters Band used as their break tune, and came out under the name Juke by Little Walter, and was a top 10 rhythm and blues smash. Walter was a hard-living, hard-drinking, hard-fighting guy, and died at an early age, the result of one too many bar fights. The song we're going to play tonight is bone-chillingly sad, and supposedly based on a true story about Walter losing one of his closest friends. Last Night by Little Walter.
Last night I lost the best friend I ever had. Now you gone and left me. That make me feel so bad. Well, now it's early in the morning, and my love is coming down for you. Early in the morning, and my love is coming down for you. I want you to tell me, baby, baby, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to tell me every day brings by the change. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to tell me every day brings by the change. I love you, babe. You know that's a crying shame.
Little Walter. He died at an early age, 38 years old. But if you see pictures, he looks closer to 60. A hard-living man, but a great artist. If you need a friend, here are some things that make a good friend. Good friends listen to each other. Good friends help each other solve problems. Good friends are dependable. This one's very important. Good friends never borrow money. Good friends never change the channel on your radio. Good friends always tell you when you have food in your teeth. Good friends sometimes pay for dinner. And good friends sometimes let you have the last beer. And if you do all those things, maybe you'll have a friend, like Carole King sings about. Carole began playing piano at the age of 4. I've heard her play, and I believe she's been playing that long. She's quite good. In 1959, Neil Sedaka wrote a song called Oh Carole in her honor. She teamed up with Jerry Goffin, and Carole and Jerry scored their first hit with the Shirelles, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? And it just kept going from there. You know all their songs. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Chains, I Feel the Earth Move, Locomotion, One Fine Day, Take a Giant Step. I could be here all day just saying songs Carole King wrote. I'd rather listen to her sing one. Here's Carole King. She's gonna brighten up even your darkest night.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, running, yeah, yeah, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you, yes, and desert you, and take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, running, yeah, yeah, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Ain't it good to know? Ain't it good to know? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Oh yeah, now you got a friend. Yeah, baby, you got a friend. Oh yeah, you got a friend.
You Got a Friend from her 1971 album Tapestry, which stayed on the charts for over 6 years and was the best-selling album of the era. Carole King singing about when you're down in trouble and needing a helping hand. Close your eyes and think of her. You got a friend. Just call her name. Oh, Carol. You're listening to Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're talking about friends and neighbors. Next up, we've got a band called Ronnie and the Delinquents on the JC record label out of New Orleans. Everybody down there would remember them. Still hear it on the jukeboxes in some sections of town. Ronnie and the Delinquents featured a couple of guys you might be familiar with. One of them I know you're familiar with. His name is Dr. John. This is from way before he was Dr. John. He was Mac Rebenak, and he was a guitar player until a gun accident damaged his hand. He was no stranger to the kind of neighborhood he sings about in this song. Bad neighborhood. His partner in crime in this song, the Ronnie of Ronnie and the Delinquents, was a guy named Ronnie Barron, who knew Mac Rebenak since they were both 15. Ronnie created a character called Reverend Ether, who'd go on about voodoo and gumbo and shake the tambourine and say things like, I'm going to drop the truth on you now. Time marches on, and their partnership became history. They both went their separate ways. Mac Rebenak became Dr. John, And Ronnie Barron played with the prime ministers in Los Angeles. And as Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story. And here's where the story began, in a bad neighborhood. I'm gonna drop the truth on you now. Ronnie and the Delinquents. Pete Townsend should have heard this before he wrote Pinball Wizard.
Dig, man. 8-ball in the side pocket.
Bad kids live in this here town. This section here is the worst around. It's a bad neighborhood. Well, there ain't no good. It's a bad neighborhood. Lie, steal, drink all day. Good folks try to keep away. It's a bad neighborhood. Well, there ain't no good. It's a bad neighborhood. A junior fired a slingshot through the church window. Preacher stuck his head out and called that boy a sinner. Bookie said while taking them, the preacher, he ain't won one yet. It's a bad neighborhood. Well, there ain't no good. It's a bad neighborhood. Junior fired a slingshot through the church window. The preacher stuck his head out and called that boy a sinner. Bookie said while taking death, the preacher, he ain't won one yet. It's a bad neighborhood. Well, there ain't no good. It's a bad neighborhood.
Junior, you better get rid of that slingshot. I'm hip, man. Here comes the police. I know. You better get out here.
Another true zombie tale from the swamps of New Orleans. That was Ronnie and the Delinquents' Bad Neighborhood. Here's my old pals, the Rolling Stones. And I guess you heard about Keith, and everybody's glad he's feeling better now. Here he is, with Charlie, Mick, Woody, and a bass player, with a song from their album, Tattoo You. Here's Mick warning his neighbors, don't you mess with my baby when I'm out working all night. I'm glad my neighbor doesn't shout like this.
Crazy
was the Rolling Stones with Neighbours. Invite your friends over, get your neighbor to come by and give a listen. Because this is Theme Time Radio Hour, and this week it's all about them. Themed dreams and neighborly schemes. One of the greatest songwriters who ever lived was Hank Williams, of course. Hank could be headstrong and willful, a backslider and a reprobate, no stranger to bad deeds. However, underneath all of that, he was compassionate and moralistic. He recorded a series of records under the name Luke the Drifter. These were moralistic and religious-themed recordings, and each one of them is a beautiful gem. Here's one as relevant today as it was the day he recorded it. Are you someone who goes to too many parties and has too many pals? Maybe you'd better listen.
Too many parties and too many pals will break your heart someday. Too many boyfriends and sociable sows will drive your sweetheart away. Gentlemen of the jury, the judge's speech began. The scene was a crowded courtroom, and the judge a stern old man. This prisoner here before you is a social enemy, a lady of the evening, and you know the penalty. Her eyes reflect the nightlife, her cheeks they're red with paint. But I knew her mother, gentlemen. Why, her mother was a saint. Now I know that she's not like her, and yet she might have been, if it hadn't been for petting parties, cigarettes and gin. We took the nightlife off the streets and brought into our own homes, while girls beat time with lipstick and the shrieks of saxophones. We opened up the underworld to the ones we loved so well. So tell me, gentlemen, is it right to send her to a cell? If she drinks, why, you taught her, and if she smokes, you showed her how. So, gentlemen, do you think it's right to go and condemn her now? And when you're in that jury room, just remember there and then that for every fallen woman, why, there's 100 fallen men. And before you render a verdict on what this girl has done, just remember there's a man to blame, and that man might be your son. Now, gentlemen, that's my story. My testimony stands. This girl is my own daughter, and the case is in your hands. Those Broadway roses and frivolous sounds had too many parties and too many pals.
Too many parties, too many pals. Luke the Drifter. He who has 1,000 friends has not a friend to spare, while he who has one enemy shall meet him everywhere. Words to live by. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So we got more emails than we know what to do with. So this week we're going to double dip. This one comes from Guy Hornsby. He writes, Bob, I'm afraid your crack research team has let you down. On your show devoted to the songs of summer, you told listeners that Billy Stewart died June 17, 1970. I know he died in January of that year, because my high school senior class in Brooklyn Case, South Carolina, had booked him to perform at our prom. Remember when high school proms had live music instead of DJs? Matter of fact, I do. That was better. Guy continues to write, we had to scramble and come up with a local band. We were fortunate enough to get the Swingin' Medallions. Their big hit was Double Shot of My Baby's Love. To make a long story short, too late, Guy. I would like to suggest a theme time radio hour devoted to garage bands. garage bands? Well, first off, Guy, thank you for your note. I'd like to point out there is already a program that focuses on garage music. I think that guy from The Sopranos does it. Not the big soprano, but one of the little sopranos. But you know what? I enjoyed your letter so much, I think I got something for you. By the way, Guy, what is a garage band? I've recorded songs in my garage. Am I a garage band? Anyway, Eric Burden was in a band called The Animals, which a lot of people think is one of the first garage-type bands. After he left The Animals, Eric Burden ended up in a nightclub where he saw an R&B band called Night Shift backing up defensive end for the LA Rams, Deacon Jones, who was trying to launch a singing career. No one remembers Deacon Jones singing, but we all remember the band that backed him up. Eric Burden changed their name to War and hired harmonica player Lee Oscar. Eric had a hit with him called Spill the Wine. And once he got out of there, War had hits like Slipping into Darkness, The World is a Ghetto, and my personal favorite, The Cisco Kid. They also did this one. Why can't we be friends? We don't need any border patrols or people trying to pigeonhole music. We just need more records like this. Here's War. That was war. Why can't we be friends? A good question. For the answer, look inside yourself. I know I love my neighbor, but I'm not ready to pull down my hedges. Nicholas Berdiev once said, bread for myself is a material question. Bread for my neighbor is a spiritual one. If you're worried about your neighbor's behavior, stop looking so closely at him and look at what you're doing. You're probably making him just as uneasy as he makes you. 'Cause if you're without sin, you can cast the first stone. And I don't know anybody who should be going around throwing stones. So that's about it for another week here on Theme Time Radio Hour. But you're welcome to stick around. Maybe we'll make some sandwiches, have ourselves a drink. After all, you're my friends, and you're always welcome. See you next week.
You've been listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky. Associate producer, Sonny Webster. Continuity by Eats Martin. Edited by Damian Rodriguez. Supervising editor, Rob McComber. The Theme Time research team, Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein. With additional research by Lynn Sheridan, Kimberly Williams, and Robert Bauer. Production assistance by Jim McBeam. Special thanks to Randy Azrati, Debbie Sweeney, Coco Shinomiya, and Samson's Diner. For XM Radio, Lee Abrams. Special thanks to Carl's Barbershop. Travel courtesy of Samudio International Airport. Recorded in Studio B, the Abernathy Building. Studio engineer, Tex Carbone. This has been a Greywater Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Join us again next week for Theme Time Radio Hour when the subject is radio.